Welcome to Ice Rink Diaries, everyone. The local Iceman here, and today we're going to be sharpening skates, so stay tuned. Okay, here's our skate sharpening table. This is a triple head table. A brand new triple head table. It would cost around $20,000 to $22,000, maybe a little bit more. And it would have a little bit different configuration. To show you these type of skate sharpening machines. This is a Blademaster. We get all our stuff through Blademaster and our New England sales that has as their official distributor. So there's a little granite tabletop, so it's a little easier for a couple people to get in there and cross grinding in the wheel in the middle and your two skate sharpening heads on the outside. You get more than one person on this wheel. So having this wheel or this table set up with these two heads next to each other, I mean, we only really use one or the other. We used to keep different type of wheels on each. Well, here's a two-headed machine. So if we got a new machine, this would be perfect for us. Cross-guided machine with just a regular wheel, I don't know what I call it, skate sharpening head. Let's talk a little bit about the positioner here. Here's our skate sharpening positioner. We kind of have two. I use one for mainly hockey skates, thinner blades, and I have this one set up for figure skates and kind of, I guess you would say, thicker blades. It just takes a lot of the guesswork out of having to adjust these little wings here. That just up and down. I'll get into what exactly that does, but basically these positioners are both the same positioners, but from here up, they're just different. This one's also nice because it does go around and allows you to get smaller skates in, but we really use them just for. I have it set up for more for figure skates or goalie skates. Since a goalie skate and figure skate's thicker, the center of the skate's higher, so you would have to do a pretty big adjustment. Not a pretty big one, but substantial one, to get it the blade or the positioner centered with the wheel. So we just have this one for hockey, this one figure, and I should have yanked this one out. And in this situations where the skates are so small and I can't really get them on even this positioner, I have this little tiny one that I keep. So sort of tiny skates. It's kind of a pain, but anyway. So when we first get to show you about the major adjustments here. So there's two adjustments here. I call these ones the minor adjustments, but you also have your major adjustment. So when I first get this, or someone else messes with it, typically what I do is I get like I know I'm on the figure skate one, but I'll just say I get a size like 9 figure skate, size 10, something, a common skate, maybe size 9, and put these little wings parallel to the table, and unloosen these bolts, and these are the bolts that I loosen, and I turn these two bolts here, I should call them bolts, the Allen set screws, and you raise and lower this bolt to get your skate level level. So I know I'm a little bit ahead of myself there as far as the skate sharpening, talking about edges of the blade and stuff, but you have two edges of the blade, and I guess let me go into that a little bit first before we so if you're looking at a skate, down the length of the skate, you have two edges of your skate on. Essentially, I got two hands here, sorry guys. So you essentially have your outside blade and your inside blade. Then we'll make sure that both those blades are level. So what we have is this little tool here that we stick on. Let me go ahead and strap it on. And I can tell right now that this blade's not level just by how this thing sits. So if let's say for example it's pretty extreme, and I put the skate. The skate goes in the holder this way, so it's going to show me that I need to bring it up a little bit this way. And the first thing, or the next thing I should tell you, that you really do it from the front and the back. So there's two adjustments on this positioner right here, the front and the back. So when you have the skate on the positioner, this is telling me that this skate right here is a little bit too high on this side, so I would raise this one up. Then I would slide this leveler to the front. Then I like to pick this thing up right here. I don't want to slide this on the blade, and put it back there. And it's also not very level. So let's say if it's extreme, let's say if it's this way, it's that way. So when I stick it on the machine or the positioner, I would have to move it down. So, but anyway, so in this case, it's a little high on the bottom side. So the shave, I would have to shave some off the bottom side. So therefore, I'd raise up the adjustment on this side up a little bit. So I hope I'm making sense there. So so again, you get the front and the back adjustments. And when I first get the positioner, I'll make sure that these two adjustment bolts, the major adjustment is set for a common skate. Lock these set screws into position. Then we use these things to adjust the skate sharpening positioner. So there's various skate sharpener positioners here. These are the newer, nicer ones. This one's probably the most common one, and essentially it's the same thing as the SH2000. We also have, I guess, the 7000. No. I guess ours would be like the 7000, but without the new adjustment thing. So the new ones, I believe, what it is, like these adjustments here, that's the one that adjusts like the pivot forward and backward, which we really don't have. But I know the newer one right here, you can really see it has little notches on it. So each one of those notches is going to refer to a notch on this little doohickey here. So much better technology. Talk about the wheels. It's a skate sharpening wheel. We use an 8 MX Ruby. There's also the green 8 GC. The junior team likes that wheel. It's just a higher grit wheel than this Ruby wheel right here, the 8 MX Ruby. So I'm just gonna put that there real quick. There's various different types of wheels. There's a blue wheel that we used to start with. That's a real cheap generic wheel. When I first started here, that's kind of what we had. Then over the time, doing some research, I come across different types of wheels. So one of the figure skate coaches a long time ago came here and he was sharpening skates. He wanted the pink one. That's a super high grit. And you can really burn your skates really easy if you're not careful, if you go too slow. The green wheel, which the Ruby wheel is the most common, most sold wheel. So it's kind of like a blend of, say, kind of the mid-grade between high performance, which are these ones up here, than the low performance ones down here. So, and I'm not gonna really get into the there's cross grinding. There's the cross grinding wheel. Excuse me, I thought this was the flat bottom design thing. I'm not gonna get into that. We do have a cross grinding wheel, which is right here. What the cross grinding wheel does, it just cross grinds the skate. If you look at the bottom of the skate, you have two edges on it, and that's what the bottom of your skate looks like. I'm not a very good drawer here. So what the cross grinder would do, let's say you had some like big nicks in your blade, or when you get a new skate sometimes looks like this. Oh, pretty bad. Anyway, it looks horrible. A new skate doesn't have a hollow, so And that's one thing I should discuss. On the bottom of the skate, that's what your skate looks like. It's an inverted U, and that's where that level thing comes in. That tells you how level your edges are. So what the cross grinder does is that if you have a new skate, it cross grinds it flat. So, and if you have like any kind of like chips in your blade, or the blade's really messed up, sometimes people I've seen people walk out to their cars with their skates on. It just boggles your mind. Those are people who just I don't know. Usually that hockey players don't do that. That's not a occurrence that happens all the time, but I have seen someone walk out to the car with skates on. You walk on concrete, your skates are done. But anyway, in that case, you'd want to cross grind it flat, you know. So like tabula rasa says, but I don't know if I'm saying that right. So it's a flat square, and also you also have to make sure your skate sharpener positioner is level, because if it's not level, you're gonna get an unlevel cross grind. So you want to make sure you have a level cross grind, so your plane is flat to start with. So two different types of wheels. We use the ruby wheel. I do have the green wheel on here. The Blazers, the junior team, their positioner or their holder can't. I could get more wheel off this one for some reason. I don't know. I think it's the guy. Anyway, sorry, Phil. I'm going to talk about the quill here next, and how you set the depth and skate hollow. So you have various skate hollows, and this is easier represented with these little rings. So this would be a really aggressive, sharp skate sharpening. Then as you work your way out, you get to a less hollow. So back over here to the fancy board. So you'd either have a gradual sharpen, or you'd have like a really deep one. So the really difference, sorry man, I'm not an artist here. So the difference between a very deep one, and just to show you, if I took these little rings and stuck them on top of the skate here, see that's 3/4 inch, that should match this. This really should be sharpened to this is a rental skate. So we sharpen really rental skates to a 1/2 inch, rental figure skates. So technically this little ring right here would match up with the hollow. So you know, if it was done right. So the smaller these little deals here, the smaller the rings, the deeper the cut, the deeper the skate sharpening. So and to get into the how deep should you sharpen your skates? Well, it depends on a lot of things. It depends on how hard the ice is, how big of a player you are. Let's say there's a general rule of thumb. The rule of thumb is the sharper the skate sharpening, you know, the deeper you go, you're going to be able to churn better, but you're not going to be as fast over the ice. And that's because you're going to be digging in the ice more, and as you glide, more of your skate is dragging from the ice, or the ice is creating drag on your blade. Try not to over-explain it, just get in trouble. But anyway, so if you have a really deep skate sharpening, and you're going to be able to churn great, but not going to be as fast over the ice. So something that's a little bit light of a sharpening, a little bit less hollow, is going to be, you're going to be faster over the ice, but you're not going to be able to churn as good. And that's just a general rule of thumb. If you get into like little kids versus some big 6'4", you know, 225 guy, the little kid need a little bit sharper skate, because he's not going to have much down pressure. And you get these big guys, you want really deep skate sharpenings. It's like, you know, you're going to blow a knee out in a corner, because you're going to get your, you know, edge dug into the ice, and you're not going to churn, and you know, If the ice gets soft in the summertime, ice is a little bit softer in the summertime here. We keep our ice in all year round. I'd say you probably want to go with a little bit less a skate sharpening hollow, because you're going to be digging the ice more. In the wintertime, you know, when it reaches, doesn't even reach below above 32 or 0, the ice is really cold, so you probably get away with a little bit deeper skate sharpening, you know. And typically, I got this little gauge. Let's just use this one right here. 1/2 inch is a typical skate sharpening for most hockey players. And if you go down to 7/16, that's also pretty common, and that's a little more aggressive, a little sharper. You go down to 3/8, it's also a little bit sharper and more aggressive. And I've had mostly a few older ladies ask for 3/8 at a 1/4 inch, and sometimes I ignore the 1/4 inch people and give them 3/8, because that's just, at that point I don't think they know what they're really talking about. So same thing with the 250 guy who wants a 1/4 inch, you know. It's like, dude, no. Anyway, so on the other side of 1/2 inch is you got the 9/16 and 5/8, and that's a little bit lighter of a sharpen. We got a professional hockey player, old hockey director, played NHL, I don't know, a dozen years or so, Garth Butcher. I've sharpened his skates, had to honor sharpen his skates a few times, and 5/8 is where he likes it. So, you know, I see I do see the better skaters don't need a really deep hollow, because there's better technique on the ice, and they're not gonna need a sharp skate to be able to turn well, because they just know how to turn well. So you get into goalie skates and stuff, you're getting into about 3/4, sometimes 1 inch. A lot of times I write down, if it's not specified, I write down on the skate tag what it is. I do need to change the skate tag so they could request it specifically, but I usually write down what I sharpen people's skates to, so they know, oh, okay, you did a 1/2 inch, I like that, or I feel like I need a little bit sharper. Same thing with goalie skates. A lot of them, some goalie skates ask for a 1/2 inch, or goalies ask for a 1/2 inch, but 3/4 of an inch is usually where we go. Figure skate blades, I ask all the hockey or figure skate directors that come through here, they say 1/2 inch. So, and mind you, a 1/2 inch on a figure skate blade is going to be different than a 1/2 inch on a figure skate on a hockey blade. If you sharpen the same as a figure and a hockey 1/2 inch, since the blades are thicker and thinner, your angle of attack coming out of the point of the edge of your skate is going to be a little bit different. So I'm not going to really get into it. So I know what I'm talking about. That's all that matters. All right. So how we actually set the 1/2 inch, 1/4 inch, whatever you want to set the skate sharpening to, we do it right here. So we slide it to it meets the back side of this holder here, and we tighten down the set screw. Then an arm machine right here. Ooh, I think that, okay. This wheel here, it pulls a little bit too much there. There you go. I don't have that glare. Don't like the glare. It pulls the diamond bit. That's what this thing is. It's a diamond bit. It's like a $34 diamond bit that screws on to the end of the diamond quill. So I got a couple old diamond bits sitting there. So if I would turn this wheel on, and I don't have I don't have the blower on, and I should have the blower on to suck the particles off. So typically, if I do a lot of skates, I got a face mask and I got the blower on, plus the light. So if I want to adjust this wheel, we call it adjusting the wheel to a 1/2 inch. I turn it on, and then again I usually have 2 hands doing this. So a little bit more. You want to do it so the diamond quill touches from the bottom of the wheel to the top of the wheel and back down. And then I usually kind of spin as I do it. And just there we go, that's a good one. Feels like it's kind of skipping there, I don't know. Alright, so we call that good, put it up there, and then we're going to sharpen the skate. So if I wanted to back this thing out, make sure the wheel stops. With 2 hands, slide this thing out. Oh, don't say it, Johnny, don't say it. So if I wanted to go 1/4 inch, which I believe would be the second line there, that's a 1/4 inch. If I wanted to go 7/16, 7/16 is between a half, excuse me, half and 3/8. So there's 3/8, half inch, 7/16 is right in the middle. So let me go ahead and, like I said, we're going to be sharpening skates. So I had a lot of great content, a lot of things to say and to show you guys. So I decided to break the video up into 4 parts. Mostly because the video was getting kind of long. So again, I thought a lot of important things to say, so I decided to break it into 4 parts. The first and second part are more the basics of the machine, the positioner, the edges, and I'll actually go into custom radius a little bit, even though we don't do it here. I'll touch on that briefly about custom radius because it is kind of important in the big picture. As well as I'll show you some skates that I'm going to sharpen too. So some figure skates and some hockey skates, and yeah, so it'll be a blast. Stay tuned and let's sharpen some skates.